Hello again, everyone. Zack Attack is here, my attack line for this Monday, October 17th, 2016. Alright. Hope I had a good weekend. I kinda did. I had a busy weekend set for this weekend. There's been a little ups and downs throughout the week. So let's kick off with Friday. I was supposed to do two fun ones for Handball and Hevel. Now, Handball was going to be in the morning and the afternoon. Hevel was going to be in the afternoon. My plan was I was going to stay at Handball for the first couple of classes and then have my dad help me out at Hevel to set me up and play at Hevel while my friend Will, who's one of my helpers as well, would have been packed with a playlist to finish me off at Handball. However, I kind of didn't tell Handball I was going to be missing half the day until the day before. Should have told him a little bit earlier, but anyway, and Handball is kind of being a little more protective now. They got a new principal who's abiding by the rules. Heck, all the parents, you see a lot of parents at these fun ones. You didn't see a lot of them at Handball because you have to go through a background check now to get in. Thankfully, they didn't do that with me. But, dang, for an elementary school, I know they got rules, but you don't have to, really go by the rules, and they're going by them. And they didn't like the fact I was going to be there for half the day. So, to appease them and their new strict policies, I had to stay at Handball all day long and have my dad do a playlist for me at Hevel. It was still a fun day, though. I always love Handball for being unique. By not just having the kids run around for 20 minutes, but having the kids run around and jump and stuff. Like they won, but they tell them, okay, jump like a frog now, hop like a bunny. But this time, it wasn't really a fun one. It was more like a fun field day to me. Field day was when you have all these various activities, like different stations. That's what they did. They had like 7 different stations. The leadership road, as they call it. And they had a bunch of kids at these stations for 3 minutes each, for a 20-minute time limit. The time that you would do for running, you go to these stations. So it's kind of interesting and weird at the same time because I'm not used to this kind of thing. But it was still a fun day, despite all the little headaches. It was still a fun day at Handball. It was my last fun one of the year. Hevel was supposed to be the last one to have to stay at Handball on there. So there you go. Now on to when the weekend took a turn. Following Handball, we were on to Westview on Saturday. Best Saturday since last week. Not as busy as last Saturday, but still a very busy day. The lines didn't get really packed to like 12:30. The lines were packed last Saturday before noon. But I think there was a little bit more people than it was last Saturday. It was a great sunny day, great day at Westview. And, people enjoyed it, had a great time. But then, I was supposed to do a yacht club party. A Commodore's ball. Now, it was at Avanti last year. And then I was told months ago that it was at the Huron Point Yacht Club house. And I talked to them prior, and they said it was still going to be at Huron Point Yacht Club. They didn't tell me any switch of the venue before Saturday. So we left Westview. We went to the Yacht Club house. And nothing looked like it was going to be a party going on that night. And we were supposed to start at 7. And we got there before. We got there at 6:30. And we called the lady that booked me to say, hey, we're at Huron Point. What's up? Is it here? Or is it another place? You forgot to tell me. And we stayed at that yacht club house for like maybe a half hour to see what was happening. And I was even going to call Avanti to see if they had anything going on in case the yacht club forgot to tell me they were going back to where they were last year. That ended up being the case. But by the time we found out finally that it was at Avanti, we were like almost going home. You know what I mean? We waited a half hour for them to call me. And if they wanted me so bad, why didn't they call me before 7? Because they wanted me at 7. You know, when you're supposed to have a party at 7, and your DJ's not there yet, what are you going to do? Call them. You waited an hour. before the supposed star of the show that called me. And by that time, I was almost going home because we were like, they ain't calling me. You know, I've heard nothing. And they told me they texted me the new location, which that text I did not receive. Maybe my phone was off. Who knows the story, but I didn't end up doing that show because of this miscommunication. And it was a bad way to end that day, and then it got even bad with Westview being rained out yesterday because of the weather. So a promising weekend ended up being kind of a rough way to end it, with the Saturday night gig still lingering, trying to brush it off, and end back to school this Friday at the final Romeo tailgate of the year at homecoming game. And then we got Westview again on Saturday and Sunday. Hopefully weather's better both days. And one of my favorite Halloween parties to do for one of my longtime customers, Mary Morellen. We took last year off, and now we're back after a year off, and we're looking very forward to that Saturday night as a way to shake off this past weekend. Now let's get on to the news that did happen in the entertainment world the last couple days. Starting with your number ones. Well, we've been doing number one movie as The Accountant by Ben Affleck, his latest movie, going up to number one with $24 million. While a lot of movies that debuted didn't do that well. Max Steel bombed, while Kevin Hart's new comedy movie did okay. It opened up with $11 million. Despite Kevin Hart being one of the most popular comedians right now, you know, his stand-up movie, his new one, What Now?, based in a stadium show, the first ever major stadium headlining show for a comedian, only made the same amount of money his last comedy movie made in the first week, $11 million. Is it overkill? Is it Kevin Hart backlash coming because he's too everywhere? Or is it because of the fact that stand-up movies normally don't do well in the box office like they used to in the days of Eddie Murphy? But still decent opening. It is number 2, not in the top 20. Not like number 15 or something in the top 5. So congrats to the number one movie, and congrats to Kevin Hart for a big debut though. Now on to your Billboard number ones. The new number one albums just keep coming. Another short 1-week reign for Solange, as she got kicked off by Green Day. And their new album, Revolution Radio, the first album in 4 years, became their third number one album, next to American Idiot and 25th Century Breakdown. The sales did okay, with about 95,000 sales, with 90,000 being traditional album sales. Of course, there's been a lot of turmoil in the Green Day camp, with Billy Joel going to rehab, and some of their wives getting cancer. A lot of turmoil the last couple of years before they released this new album. They're going on a theater tour right now. They're finishing up in Detroit next week after postponing it. They were supposed to be in Detroit a month ago, and they rescheduled. And now they're going on an arena tour, including Detroit again, at the Joe Louis Arena on March 27th, which I am going to, with Against Me as the opening. So I can't wait to see them in March. Well, we have a new number one album. Someone can come closer already, goddammit! We need a number one single so bad it's bouncy. Like Bruno's new one, despite my views, like it's growing on me. It's gangsta funky. It's now an elementary song. I want some more fun songs for elementary fun ones. Because it's bad when we have to play 2-year-old songs at fun ones because all the new songs are sexy and not good enough for fun ones. At least they're done. But Bruno's new song debuts at number 5. 24 Karat Magic. He helped more with his SNL appearance over the weekend. But closing number 1 again for a 9th week. Probably one of the biggest chart toppers this year. Probably the longest number 1 this year, almost next to Drake with One Dance. So I think congrats to Bruno for a big debut, but again, Chainsmokers still number 1. Now, on to some news about Motown. Motown Museum on Grand Boulevard in Detroit is getting renovated. It's getting an expansion. Now, I've been to the Motown Museum twice. It's awesome. It's history in there. We get to tour Barry Gordy's old house, and more importantly, get to tour the famous studio that many Motown legends recorded in, like the Temptations, Stevie Wonder, and everything's still in place. All the original instruments, all the original, even the original candy machine that Stevie Wonder got candy with is still there. Because I went to Sun Records in Memphis. Went to their studio. The studio was nice, but they didn't have any of the original stuff, like at Motown. But despite some great tours there, there's not a lot of memorabilia in there. There's like one little room with like Supreme stuff, because they use like a house for it. So there's not a lot of room for memorabilia. It's still a great museum, but they need a little bit more to add more to tell the story more about Motown. And they're going a $50 million expansion, going to the museum to a 50,000 square foot world-class tourist attractions destination, including dynamic interactive exhibits, state-of-the-art performance theater, unrivaled musical studios, an expanded retail experience in meeting spaces. Their expand around the original museum will not be touched. According to a statement by the chairman and CEO of Motown Museum, Robert R. Terry, she said this expanded facility will be an exhilarating national and international tourist attraction, which will allow us to narrate and celebrate on a much larger scale what the Motown legacy is recognized for. Unmatched creative genius that transcends every barrier imaginable by bringing people together from all forms of life to share that unmistakable Motown sound. Now, the new campus will have a transformative impact on the surrounding Detroit neighborhood, providing employment, sustainability, and community pride. Of course, this Motown expansion is one of various things to liven up Detroit. And Detroit is going through a massive facelift, especially with the new Little Caesars Arena coming this next year, the new home of the Red Wings, and possibly the Pistons. They're working on it. And also a lot of new businesses opening up, so Detroit's trying to come back from a huge bankruptcy and come alive with these new things, especially the LCA and the newly soon-to-be expanded Motown Museum. Now, they have no idea of when this will start, probably sometime next year. It'll probably open within the next couple of years. So there you go, everybody. Motown Museum getting expanded with a new part being added on. $50 million is it coming from taxpayers, but I think they're raising it. Still the same when it comes to funds. We'll raise the dollars locally, nationally, and internationally. There are corporations and individuals who have the opportunity to take part in this development. UAW may be involved in raising some funds. So, there you go. Curious to see. I will definitely go back to Motown Museum when it's renovated, because I love it now, but through this new expansion is going to add a lot to it. Adding more memorabilia, more collectibles, and more about the story of Motown. But keep the kind of tours, though, of the studio is awesome. And the piano that Paul McCartney decided to renovate when he was here. He toured Motown and he saw that piano. He got the pay for it to get renovated. That was awesome. So see what happens there. Speaking of famous English musicians, we end this with news on Phil Collins. It's been kind of a interesting year for Mr. Collins. He reissued his entire library of albums. He just released a singles collection and about to release his autobiography, Not Dead Yet. But there has been rumblings for the last few months about Phil Collins going back on the road, going out of retirement. Despite some one-offs here and there, no tour announcement has been made until today. He announced that he's going on a European summer tour, which will include 5 shows at the Royal Albert Hall, followed by 2 shows in Cologne, Germany, and 2 in Paris. Maybe more to be followed. Phil's probably doing this step by step because he hasn't done a solo tour since 2004 and hasn't done any touring in general since the last Genesis tour, the Turn It On Again tour back in 2007. Phil in a press conference today saying that I thought I would retire quietly, but thanks to the fans, my family, and support from extraordinary artists, I have rediscovered my passion for music and performing. Money! No, I'm kidding. It's time to do it all again, and I'm excited. Just feels right. I definitely would like to see him. Despite his songs being low in key and various health issues that plagued him, including not being able to drum anymore after getting back surgery, he's still feeling fine to get back on the road again. With these dates in Europe could lead to many more. So there you go. Phil Collins set to head back on the road again on the Not Dead Yet tour, which will kick off next spring in London at the Royal Albert Hall. And the book, Not Dead Yet, will be coming out in America next week, October 25th. And that is it for the Attack Line for today. Thank you so much for watching. With that in mind, you've been attacked by the news from Zach. See you later, everybody. Bye-bye.